as I said earlier, this was a bold undertaking.
Yeah.
The most complex political problem probably of our day. And here you were an unknown writer at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was risky.
Yeah.
Big risk. And I think you said at one place you knew that people would like it.
Yeah.
But you also made a conscious choice to leave Israel out. In fact, the only mention I can find of Israel is is. Is that right?
I think that it's said, but it's by about page 60. Yes.
Yeah. But I can see why, because your focus was elsewhere.
But sorry.
No,
but I mean, I did that not because I felt that Israel wasn't affected. It's because the nature of the occupation has become so remote that it's like it's controlling everything you do, but it's not seen. So it's it's the unknown. It's this force from outside that everybody's aware of and is conscious of, and it's guiding your actions, but it's not something you can touch. So what I was quite interested in is how this is impacting Palestinian behaviour, how it's affecting us. And because these were the issues that were really compelling me at the time and worrying me, particularly with the infighting in about 2007, 2008. And I think because originally I'd sort of set off with this task. I thought I'm going to write a great epic Palestinian novel which starts in 48 and then it covers every major, it's going to be a saga, and I just felt so sort of overwhelmed and a little bit bored by that, because it wasn't the point where I was asking questions about where are we going to go. You have a leadership you don't necessarily believe in, and then you might be of this sort of secular middle ground where you don't necessarily agree that the Islamic parties are the solution, or that where's this going to go? How's this going to be resolved? How are we going to work together? And how are we changing as people? So, and how is the outside going to connect in with that? Are we going to become more and more xenophobic, more and more exclusionary? So how can we connect up? I think was interesting me. But I'm interested in this remote control of warfare and siege, and that's really in a way where they were sort of.
I mean that works. I mean, this, if I was to use one word to summarise the novel, it's about siege.
Yeah.
And what you've done is sort of indirectly allowed the impact of power to unfold without screaming about that nasty enemy over there. I mean, we just see the power sort of leaking through, seeping through in every part of their life. Yeah. Okay.
But just to go back to that, because it's a really difficult technical problem when you're dealing with a political situation which has had a huge amount of media coverage, is that you need to make things seem as natural to your characters as they would be to somebody who's living there. So it's, there are a limited number of devices one can use. I mean, a child's viewpoint is very useful because they're sort of explaining things in a very natural way, or to have an outsider coming in and looking at things with new eyes is also good. But apart from that, I mean, to have Palestinians who lived there for a period of time sort of constantly commenting, there's the Eretz checkpoint which was set up in Israel in 1980. It breaks the dream, it breaks the spell of it. So I also didn't want it to sound too media. I didn't want to have journalistic language in it. So, and I wanted, like I said originally with the Boliano example, to try and keep negative associations within people out of the writing, so that if people were coming in with preconceptions, that they wouldn't be pushed away by page 2, that you could draw them in with the character first. That was the kind of thing.
And that works.